Okay, welcome to the finales of our first regular season, Fantasy Happy Hour, Week 17. We started this week 2, right, Taryn?
Yep, me too.
15 weeks later, we've survived and we've made it. Um, yeah, it's been a fun first season, and we've had a lot of people watching this. So no Thursday night video this week. It's just straight Sunday. Two videos we'll do. This first one will be the Sunday morning and afternoon games. We'll kind of go through typically how we usually do these ones and make some recommendations by position. And then our last one for the regular season will be the showdown of Sunday nighter. And then starting next week, or no, we have a week off probably, right? And then playoffs.
I think they start. No, they start right away because of the new playoff structure.
Yeah, so we'll be right back deep into playoffs starting next week, I believe.
And yeah, Saturday, Sunday.
Watch out for our other sports videos that we're gonna hopefully start doing in the next few weeks here. We have some hockey ones coming out, and yeah, hopefully enjoy those. Okay, but yeah, I'll start her off with a early one here. I'm going QB. Might be a riskier pick, but I tried to make all my picks based off teams that are making either a playoff push or they need to win or they need some luck. And so I'm going with Baker Mayfield, who had a tough week. I'm not sure what the status will be on receivers coming back and who will be out and who won't, but only 10 fantasy points last week. A little bit of a disaster out there. But I'm hoping they bounce back, and this is a bounce back game that they need to win. And we see Baker put the team on his back and hopefully pull out a good week. What do you think here with this one, Taryn?
That's funny because I took Baker last week in our pick show, and I laughed when on Saturday night 4 receivers get COVID listed. I was like, oh, well, now he's playing his his 5th and 6th string receivers. But I stuck around the high end here with quarterbacks. Deshaun Watson, I put in as one of them. They play Tennessee, and that's a division game, I believe, correct? Yeah. And Tennessee needs this game. So I think Houston might want to play spoiler here. And Deshaun's been probably top 3 quarterbacks in the season so far this season, even on a losing team. He's put up 27 or more DraftKings points in his last 2 or 3, and he averages about 25 DK points per game. He has a rushing floor of about 3 to 5 points. So, I mean, he's just a great option. And this Tennessee games have been just high scoring lately. Them and the Colts are like 2 teams who just seem to be giving up tons of points lately. And then one other quarterback I had was Lamar Jackson, another must-win game. Exact same reason as Baker. I think they need to win as well just to lock their seed. And I think that division, what is that, the AFC? That picture, there's like 4 teams at 10-5, but basically it's winners come out and all the tiebreakers come through. So Lamar's been rushing. I think he has a minimum of 70 yards the last 3 or 4 games. He's rushed 100 yards in one of those. He's not throwing well, but I mean, his rushing upside is like 10 to 15 fantasy points per game. So I think he's a great option. But what do you got at running
back? This week, I'm in the same position as you are, but I got J.K. Dobbins. They're playing the Bengals. I mean, another playoff team here, another playoff push. Last week, 77 yards, 1 TD. Although you could probably interchange him out with Gus Edwards. They both put up similar points. I just thought Dobbins looked good. He had a lot of good looks last week. And if they're playing the Bengals and the Bengals are pretty beat up, I'd expect them to maybe run it a little bit more than throwing it to the receivers. So I was going over to Dobbins there for this one. Moving on to my wide receiver pick here. Same exact theories. We're going Allen Robinson.
Nice.
10 receptions, 103 yards, 0 TDs last week. So if he gets a TD, he's really having a great week for you. Playing Green Bay, I just think this one will probably be a shootout, and we'll see maybe not though. Maybe Green Bay, takes it easy and sits some guys, but hard to tell with some of the football, but maybe not. If they don't, especially in the first half, it could be a high-scoring game. And yeah, I'd be looking to Robinson as my receiver and the number 1 receiver on the Bears for sure. What are you thinking at your receiver position there, Taryn?
Well, you skipped my running backs, but I'll go there. Just to
clarify,
I'll go running backs and wide receivers here. But I actually have a pick out of that Green Bay Chicago game, and that's AJ Dillon on a cheap end. He's 4,900. He's the backup running back in Green Bay. So he came in that game last week and rushed for 124 and 2 touchdowns. And I think they're going to start to sit guys if this game goes kind of out of hand. Green Bay has basically locked a bye, but they haven't locked the home field for the whole playoffs. So they do want to win this game, but they are playing Chicago, who also wants to win this. So I think they're going to lean to kind of resting and playing some of these backups. But AJ Dillon looked really, really good. He's super cheap if you want to jump in the stack with Chicago. Another running back, DeAndre Swift. If we want to look at Minnesota's defense, they didn't give up 2, they didn't give up 4, they gave up 6 touchdowns to Kamara last week on the ground. So a 6 touchdown running back game against them. So DeAndre Swift has got all the usage there, and this Minnesota defense is abysmal at best. And so I think DeAndre Swift is a great option. Going over to wide receiver, really cheap guy here to maybe open up some of those high price guys for you. Richie James for San Francisco. San Francisco lost Deebo Samuel. They've also now announced that Ayuk's out for the final game. So basically they're running a shell of receivers. Kittle is back. So what that meant was they leaned on the running back for in San Fran, and they ran the ball a ton more. And that was with, what's his name? Jeff Wilson. So he's another great option too, because he ran for, I think, 2 and over 100. Got 1 through the air, I believe, too. So I think leaning to the San Fran for some cheap value just to open up your lineups is good. And then CD Lamb for the Cowboys. They get the Giants this week. This is a kind of a game that Dallas wants to win. I think they have a chance to still make the playoffs. And I think they're the one really fighting. The Phillies, the only team that got eliminated in that division now. So, I mean, look to Dallas to want to play this game hard and beat the Giants up. And Dalton looked awesome. I think he threw for 360, and all 3 of those receivers had good games last week. But CD Lamb seems like he's getting the red zone work and he's rushing the ball quite a bit. So I kind of looked there at 5,200 because I think Gallup's going to pick up a ton of steam this week off his big game, 2 touchdowns, over 100. I think guys just chase stuff like that. So I think CD Lamb is the middle priced guy. So he might go under the radar between those 3 receivers. But I'll jump over to tight end. I had a stack with both my quarterbacks here. Actually, it was the tight end stack, Mark Andrews for Baltimore. 11 targets last game. Again, must win game. Lamar leans on Andrews when he's in a tight spot, and he's like one of the few guys. I think he had 70 or 80 yards last game, and Lamar only threw for 180. So he's seeing, just shy of 50% of the yardage from Lamar. So that's a great option. He didn't get in the end zone. So I think if he gets in the end zone, that's a great option. And then I'm leaning back to our early season prowess. I tried to bring a little throwback with some Jordan Akins, Houston tight ends. Houston's looked actually really good the last few weeks. Their offense is kind of clicking with some backups. I mean, Cooks came back, played awesome, but Akins is still seeing 6 or so targets a game. I mean, he hasn't hit the red zone or the hit touchdown, but that's the problem. He gets a touchdown and he bursts at that 3,400 price range that I love. So where are you going for tight end and defense?
Yeah, this is where I stacked with my QB2, and I'm going Austin Hooper. Again, I don't really know what's the situation will be with receivers coming back. But Hooper last week, 7 receptions, and I think he had 13 or 14 targets. So not a lot of actual catches. Maybe if he would have caught a few more, he would have quit the heck of a game, because he still put up, I think, 14 fantasy points. 71 yards, no TDs. So yeah, I think this one kind of depends. The whole stack depends on how it pans out for the rest of the week and who's back and who's not, because I might lean to more of a receiver. But if they're still out or only one comes back, I'd still be looking at Hooper as a cheaper option who's going to get hopefully a lot of targets at the very least. Jumping into my defense special teams here. I mean, one and only one pick. We're going Houston. I mean, after seeing J.J. Watt's press conference, you got to expect that they're going to come out and, put out one last good week. Can't be having a speech like that and not having a great game. So at the very least, hopefully J.J. gets a few sacks in there and keeps the game close. I mean, it is Houston, so the chance of it being higher scoring is a lot greater than it won't be. But last week, so might as well go to the cheap option and go with the team I enjoyed.
Yeah, I like that pick, except my problem is I think that's the game to stack this week. I think Deshaun stacks with Henry and AJ Brown, because Henry and AJ Brown have been in some winning lineups lately. So I think that game could be awesome to stack up on offense. But I like the idea, go different, because last week we saw Carolina basically crushed the slate with 20 points up against, I think it was Washington. So, I mean, I didn't realize Taylor Heineke was playing quarterback for Washington, but that might have been my mistake, just being busy with Christmas and all. But a couple defenses I like here. The Rams, I think this is the kind of biggest game in this whole Sunday slate, and that's because the Rams are playing Arizona. I think if Arizona beats them, the Arizona's in, and I think if the Rams beat them, they're in and locked, because the Rams are holding the position right now. And I don't think the tie breaks in the other 3 games go differently, but I'm hoping I'm not wrong on that. But this is going to be a battle game. And even though they lost to Seattle last week, the Rams offense looked awful, but their defense still looked really, really good. Still put up, I think, 9 points. So, I mean, that defense is solid and you can play them anywhere. And then I went cheap trying to get but the resurgence of the New York Jumbo Jets, they are just playing like they have some energy now. I think they're coming out for contract season. All these guys are playing now to just ink bigger deals next year. They got Jamison Crowder throwing the ball for touchdowns. This Patriots offense too is just horrible. I thought they were going to sit Stidham last night. So in Showdown, I put Stidham in like my one lineup I played because I didn't have time to set too many. So I think Stidham's going to start, and he's not that great either. So I think the Jets get this game, and just because it's division and they want to beat up on the Patriots, I think this is their chance to do it. I think it's horrible because they lost all pick power and, but I guess these guys want to play to win. So it should be fun to see the Patriots maybe lose to the Jets.
Yeah. Jets, the Jamison Crowder TD throw was quite the play. I was laughing when I watched that one. Quite the nice little trick play there. And then I'd seen what other team had tried that and they missed it.
They threw a pick. Watkins? That
was Watkins and KC to Mahomes. That would have been nice. But yeah, threw a pick instead. But yeah, thanks for watching this. Going through the first regular season. I'm sure next year will hopefully be a little bit more improved and have a little bit more smoother. But not bad for season 1. One video hit 1,000 views, so it's pretty exciting. And if you like this one, make sure to check out the our last showdown, regular season one for I believe it's Eagles Redskins.
Yeah. Yes.
Perfect.
Well, Eagles football team.
Oh yeah, Eagles football team. But yeah, if you like it, give it a like, and if you enjoyed this year, give us a subscribe.